It was like has been said, there was great conversation ensued. Words like ensued and avuncular and asshole and dipshit. He made conversation a breeze. You know, he would pontificate and I would chime in once in a while. We never wondered how Dan felt about anything, as he would tell you. The Canyon de Guadalupe trips, they were so fun, and you know, all the camping trips I went on with Dan and Susan and the kids. When we left Super Bowl Sunday, you know, it was my obsession to be out of there at 10 o'clock. Jim has given me a beautiful picture of me standing there looking at my watch, because if we left at 10, we'd get home in time for the Super Bowl, which we always did. Anyway, him and I would collect the money, and it would be, you know, with a notebook and checking off dollars and how many people in your party, how many cars did you have, and we had a lot of fun with it. And our camping trips were marked by the latest gizmos that we each had come up with. You know, we were consummate campers. I mean, we got lucky enough to have this Volkswagen Westphalia, and I would pack that shit in there. I had everything. And I usually had two of everything in case the first one broke. But anyway, Dan, you know, I especially remember the Bow Willow trips, and he just set up camp like a champ. And it's a shame he's gone so soon, but he graced us with his wonder. He was quite a guy, and I miss him. Every time I drive through Hillcrest, I think, oh, I should stop. Oh, right. No, they're not there anymore. And it's nice to see all y'all. Yeah. Here's to Dan.
Here, Dan.
Sure.
Thanks.
Gee whiz, an audience. Hi, people.
Eat the microphone.
I don't have a lot of experience with microphone eating. It's not among my repertoire. I'm Kathy, and I'm going to read some stories that people sent, people who are not here, but they wanted to be represented. The first one, and also the print I'm reading from, it's really small. So I'm gonna like look at it and not have eye contact, but please read the eye contact into the stories.
You need reading glasses? I can help.
Actually, no, I need to take my glasses off. Okay, this is from Shelley Anderson, and she says, I met Dan in 1990 when he and Susan hired me right out of college. At a time when I was quite busy rejecting all things male, along comes Dan, someone simply impossible to vilify, even when you tried, and try I did. Yet somehow through his kindness and generosity, his love for family and friends, his imperfections, his enthusiasm for life, and even how he expressed anger, I was able to see with certainty that not all men were my father. Some were like Dan. Sure, I would have figured this out eventually had I not met him, but I did meet him, right when I needed to. While he never knew because I never told him, I'm certain he spared me years of grief and expensive therapy. Also, it was just plain fun to be in his orbit. I like to think somewhere out there it still is. I think that's a theme that we're seeing.
Yep.
Dan's having fun and often with us. Okay, here's another one from his brother Bill. You've heard the adage, boys will be boys. That was especially true of the Reifers boys, Dan and Bill. Trouble found them everywhere. When Dan and Bill were about 9 and 7, they went to FedMart on Main Street with their father, Martin. This made me figure out why Martin was called Martin. What should have been a routine shopping trip turned into a major store incident. Dan and Bill separated from Martin, as many children like to do. They weren't looking for trouble, just looking at the inspection tag on the fire extinguisher. It was located on a metal post just at Dan's height, and so of course he touched it. Well, someone had removed the safety pin, and when Dan touched the fire extinguisher, it went off. The fire extinguisher was made with a soda acid system that created a somewhat corrosive liquid discharge. Once the handle is squeezed, the corrosive liquid begins to discharge at high pressure everywhere. It cannot be stopped once it is started, and since no one had control of the hose, the corrosive liquid wildly sprayed everything within a 20-foot radius until the chemicals depleted. Bill backed away quietly, watching in amazement at the spectacle as Dan tried unsuccessfully to stop the discharge. Soon the area was swarming with store employees who promptly escorted Dan to the security office. Soon, over the store loudspeaker, everyone heard, "Will the parents of Dan Reifers please come to the security office immediately?" FedMart was very forgiving and did not ban the Reifers family from shopping in their store. Oh, here's another one. This is from, wait a minute, help me here. This is from Jill, Michael, Alex, Dominique, and Marcus. Jill is Dan's niece. That's right? Okay. Uncle Dan. Dan equaled Thanksgiving and our family's love. Thanksgiving was the one day a year when my mother